Normally, I don't get on here and talk about personal things, but Trump just made me lose my job. Federal cuts to social safety net programs have ravaged the lives of countless Americans from all walks of life. Nonprofit organizations who have relied on federal funding for years to serve vulnerable populations have been forced to shut down across America because of Trump and the GOP's massive defunding of federal grants that are going to nonprofits. I was just told that the program that I work for, that I went to college to get my degree in, that I am now working in the field helping people, that program is being cut because of a cut of federal grants. I'm a social worker. I went to school, I got my degree in the field, and now I'm working professionally, helping people who are vulnerable, who are marginalized. The program that I work in provides essential services to women, to families in my city. And it also happens that this program is the only program of its type that provides this service in the entire city. The metro area of my city is just over 1 million people. I could be crying about this and whatever, but they did give us a month heads up, which is nice. So I do have time to find something else. And I'm not the only one getting let go, right? It's the whole program, which includes many people. But this is not about me. This is not about us. It's about the hundreds of families that rely on our services. It's about the thousands of people that we would have served in the future. It's about the countless families that are on our wait list because we have a long queue of people waiting to get into our program to receive our service. We now have to give all of our families the bad news that the service that they need is no longer available to them. And to the countless families on our wait list waiting to receive our service, we now have to give them the bad news that the service they've been holding out hope for is no longer going to be there. And now they'll have to travel over 3 hours to the nearest organization that provides what we do. And without a robust train system, most of these families will not be able to get the service because of the socioeconomic status that they are in. They don't have the means to be traveling by car 3 hours each way. I'm not going to say what organization this is. I'm sure it'll be in the news, in the local news where I'm at. And I'm doing that for obvious reasons. Like, I've had videos where I get hundreds of angry, disturbing comments from MAGA where they're threatening me or they're saying the most ridiculously hateful things that you've ever heard. So I don't want those types of people to know where I work. Those people are dangerous, and I don't trust them. I wouldn't trust them to watch my dog for 5 seconds. These people are extremist and violent. And considering the organization is still going to remain open, it's just that our program was uniquely reliant on federal grants. Given that the organization as a whole is still going to stay open, I'm not going to say the name of it, but I will say our nonprofit, it provides housing resources, counseling and therapy, legal help, all types of advocacy for families and women experiencing abuse. So the next time you hear someone defending Trump or the GOP's funding cuts, or I guess this was something that Doge did earlier in the year, when you hear someone defending these huge reductions in federal grants to essential nonprofit organizations like mine across the country, without first ensuring that those organizations can secure alternative funding so that they can continue to serve marginalized people, if you hear people defending that, you can tell them to fuck off. Really, I mean, capitalism in the US creates giant gaps in receiving basic necessities, housing, food, healthcare, mental health support, and much more, because we don't have single payer systems in place in those sectors like most other developed nations do. We unfortunately have to rely on the government to give money on the back end through grants to thousands of nonprofits nationwide that do essential work like ours. This wouldn't be a problem. There wouldn't be a need for the billions of dollars that are given in federal grants to nonprofits if we had single payer healthcare, if we had public housing options, if we had free college tuition, a robust national train system, and much more. But there's nothing I can do about this. Like, it's completely out of my control. So I'm not going to worry about it. Of course, anyone who loses their job, it's stressful and it's worrying, of course. But given these tumultuous times that we are in, I don't know if I said that right, tumultuous, these chaotic and hectic times where we are living through a fascist regime, an authoritarian takeover that we haven't seen in this country before. Period. We have to be able to focus on what we can control. Thankfully, like I said earlier, they're giving us about a month heads up before they shut the program down. So I do have plenty of time to find another job. No big deal to me. And I know I'll be fine anyway because I'm pretty resourceful. And during college, I drove Uber Eats and DoorDash. And my account was still active, so I can go out and drive and make money to give myself some more time to find another job. But this is the perfect example of focusing on what you can control, not what you can't control. What I mean is, we often put a lot of our energy into worrying about things that are out of our control. And sometimes that's not a choice, right? Sometimes things happen in your life that are so overwhelming, that are so big, that no amount of emotional intelligence can navigate you through that roller coaster. No amount of books on emotional intelligence will automatically equip you with the tools you need to not worry about losing your job. You know what I mean? Those are skills that are developed over many, many years. And most of us just don't have those skills. But this has to be one of those situations where you just hunker down, focus on what you can control, which is moving on to the next thing. That's my mindset broadly with the political landscape here in the United States. In my view, there's a lot of really scary things going on with ICE raids, with, like I said, this authoritarian takeover. It can feel overwhelming, because it is, and you could feel hopeless, but there's not much you as a single person can do. And that may cause existential stress, but it does help individually, like internally, knowing that you can't change things. But as a group, as a movement, as an organization, you certainly can. And that's why you need to get plugged in. You should support your local labor unions. You should volunteer or work for nonprofits that provide essential services like mine does. You should do all of that and more. But all right, thank you for watching this. Hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.